All right, final game of the year coming up. Final game of the weekend. We'll be off for Christmas break. Be back January 3rd, I believe. St. Joe Griffons visiting the Kansas City Knights. Gathering up the final pucks here. Knights will bring out Dunlap, Larson, and Sanders on the forward line. Graham and Drill will be on the defense. Trent Smith in net. Grabbed by the Griffons. They'll dump it down into the Knight zone. Far side, now this will be grabbed by Larson. He'll kick it out in the neutral zone. Chased by Sanders, sent up the boards, popped well over everybody's head. This comes all the way down and will be icing in the Knight zone. So we'll face it off in the Griffin zone. Just underway, final game of the weekend, the year. So hope you all enjoy it. We'll get a nice break for a week or so. Grabbed by Larson, over to Sanders. Sanders back to Larson, now lose it down the corner. This will be grabbed by the Griffins. Sanders pokes at it, chipped up the boards. Held in by Drill, now slapped away there by the Griffins. Back check by Dunlap, gets it over to Sanders. Sanders right to the middle, now pulls back. Has it poke checked away off into the corner. Up the boards, this comes to Larson. Larson will get it to Graham. Graham will send one that's deflected by the Griffins. Now back up to Larson to Graham. Graham back to Larson. Larson back to Graham. Sends one up front. Blocked away by the Griffins. Chipped out in the neutral zone. Now that'll come to Big Mo. He'll bring it D to Graham. Just out in front of Prather. Here come the Griffins the other way. Pulls back. Loose puck up front. Now this will be grabbed by Graham. Griffins are in a line change. Graham will lose it. Now dumped down into the Griffin zone. Grabbed by the Griffins. Wheels back. Here comes Neal in. Quick pass up ahead left-hand side. Right to Mo. Backhander comes right to Neal. This will be held in by Prather. Down low. Pulls back to his forehand. He'll take a shot. Saved by Sullivan. Now cleared by the Griffins, and this is going to be icing. Face off in the Griffin zone. Prather, Neal, and Chikini are in on the forwards. Olery and Morrison on the defense. 11:08 remaining in the first. Neal will step in, take the center spot. Won by the Griffins. Chipped up the boards. Now grabbed by Neal. Neal will race behind the net. Over to Chikini. Chikini will slap it behind the net over near side to Prather. Stolen by the Griffons. Now backhanded out into the neutral zone to Morrison. This will go far side over to Ullery. Ullery will chip it off the boards. Grabbed by Neal. He'll skate in up front. Sends it over to Chicani. He'll shoot wide of the net. Over near side to Neal. Now stolen by the Griffons. Up the middle of the ice. Peels off to the left. Tries to pull back to the middle. Poked away by Ullery. Now the Griffons will send it down low behind the net to Morrison. Morrison will send it up the boards to Prather. Prather will grab control. Now poked away by Milburn for the Griffons. Pressured by Prather. Loose puck. Now this is grabbed by Morrison, and they're going to get an interference call on Prather. And the Griffons will head to the power play with 10-12 remaining in the first. Kassler and Drill, Sanders and Larson working on killing off this power play. Comes to Drill. Now Drill will backhand it out in the neutral zone. This will come all the way into the Griffin zone. Cross ice pass held in by Larson. He'll send it back down low. Grabbed by the Griffins. They'll wheel fast around the backside of the net. Now up the middle. Takes it down deep, centers it up front, quick shot, shoots and scores. Power play goal from the Griffins. They strike first with 9:43 remaining in the first.
This game is brought to you by Meineke Car Care Centers of Kansas City. Trust your keys with Meineke.
Hazen, Honan, and Wiebe check in. Kassler all face off one right up the gut. Poked away there by Kassler. Now it's up front. Kassler will kick it off into the corner. Comes up the boards halfway. Now Hazen over there. That'll come straight out to Honan. Honan will try to get it ahead up to Wiebe. Now it's a foot race for the puck. Wiebe will chase after it. Lifts a stick. Holds it in down in the corner. Now up the boards it comes. Stolen by Honan. She'll send it back down low, back behind the net. Quickly cleared out into the neutral zone. Now Graham will look over his shoulder, slaps it off the boards right to Ritchie for the Griffins. Can't get it cleared. Now up the right-hand side. Clark will hold it in for the Griffins. Back down low, back behind the net. This will come to Ullery. Pops out right to Honan. She'll wrap it around the boards, but this isn't going to get it out of the zone. Now Wiebe will poke it out into the neutral zone. Foot race for the puck. Clark will get to it first, sends it back. This is going to come right to Ullery. Ullery loses it. Ritchie will chip it around Ullery. Comes to centered up front. Quick shot, deflected. Goes wide of the net. Now grabbed by Ullery. Round the boards over towards Honan and Wiebe. Honan will kick it out to Hazen. Hazen will send it the length of the ice. Sullivan will just touch with this one up, wave off the icing. Here come the Griffins around the net. Sullivan up to the middle. Now go back to the right. Send it down low. Look for the center pass. That's what they did last time. Morrison will send them low. Now that'll come to Kassler, far corner. Over towards Dunlap. Comes up front, wide in the net. Comes over to Morrison near side. He gets checked up. Larson's in there. Wrapped around the boards. Larson will chase after it. So Griffins will hold it in. Now they chip it into their own zone. Cross ice pass just out in front of Sanders. Comes down to Moe in the night zone. He'll chip it right back out to neutral ice. Dunlap will poke it over to Larson. Larson will look to center to Sanders down into the Griffin zone. They'll send it right back out. Oh, that's held in there by Morrison momentarily. Grabbed by Tabor for the Griffins. Up the near side, Sanders right there. Deflected, goes to Moe. Now it's slapped in. They got a delayed offsides. Waiting on the Griffins to clear it. This will come to Kassler. Kassler will chip it up. Oh, takes a big check up against the boards. right to the Griffons. Now they'll pop it out to center ice. And we're going to get a tripping on Kassler. He was reaching out for the puck. Griffons will go to another power play. Face-off will be in the Knight zone. Chikini, Neal, Graham, and Drill, I think, have checked in over there. Won by the Griffons. They'll come D-to-D near side. Quick shot, deflected, goes off to the near corner. Graham will battle for it. Griffons will hold it in up against the boards. Big check by Chikini. Now it trickles out, held in by the Griffons. Tipped up front, deflected. That goes far side over towards Neal. Neal will chip it up the right-hand side. Now the Griffons will send it back. This will come to Drill. He'll saucer it way up in the air. Bounces right off of Sullivan's glove. Grabbed by the Griffons, far corner. Neal will put a forecheck on. Drill will grab that one, takes a shot, goes wide left of the net. Up the right-hand boards will come the Griffons. Now loose right in the neutral zone. They'll chip it down into the Knight zone. Goes over towards Drill. He'll slap it off the boards. Griffons will grab it center ice. Skate in hard. Sullivan up the right-hand side. Now we're going to get an offsides. Larson and Prather check in. Olery and Moe on the defense. Coons comes away with for the Griffons. Now popped away by Prather momentarily. Dumped down into the corner. This will go backside of the net to Ritchie. Comes free to the Griffons. Takes a shot, shoots and scores. And that's 2 power play goals from the Griffons right off the bat with 5:48 remaining in the first. Larson, Dunlap, and Sanders will check in. Morrison and Olery on the defense. That'll come to Olery. He'll chip it ahead up to Dunlap. Dunlap chips it up the boards left-hand side. Will chase after. Goes back behind the net. Up the boards to Morrison. Morrison will backhand it center of the ice. Now it comes right to Dunlap. That's deflected up front by the Griffons. Grabbed around the backside of the net. Chips it up the boards. Can't hold it in. Oh, they do hold it in. Now it comes out to Larson into the neutral zone. This will come to Dunlap. Dunlap will bring it over to Kingston Sanders. Sanders up the left-hand side, down into the Griffin zone. Poke check and grab by Larson. Comes back out in the neutral zone. Now it'll be Sanders grabbing this one. Peels back towards the middle, leaves it for Morrison. Right under the feet of Sanders. Now it'll be sent down into the Griffin zone. Pop back out into the neutral zone, and here come the Griffins the other way. Morrison chasing out. Oh, big body check by Morrison, and he's going to get a interference call on that one as he was racing back after this. Lost his twig. He'll go to the sin bin. Another power play for the Griffins. So far, they're 2 for 2. Let's hope they don't go 3 for 3. Neal wins it off to the near boards. Kassler will get it cleared out in the neutral zone. Grabbed by the Griffins at the red line. Now they'll bring it over near side. Neal will come over, body check on Tabor. Loose puck. This will come down into the Knight zone over to Wiebe. Wiebe will send it up the boards. Now Neal will chip it off the boards, race for it up the right-hand side. Grabbed by the Griffins. They'll come D-to-D near side. Now try to center it up front. Down into the corner with the Griffons. Back behind the net. Chased by Kassler. They'll control it far side. Bring it up near side. Slap back down low by the Griffons. This will go back behind the net. Looking for that center pass. They'll bring it off the wing. Sends it back behind the net. Over into the far corner. Kassler's over there. Lifts the stick. Pinches it up against the boards. Battle for the puck. That'll chip out towards Wiebe, but she can't get it cleared. Kassler will try to send it up the boards. Griffons hold it in. Right back to Kassler. Now it's chipped out by Wiebe into the neutral zone. This will come down into the Griffin zone. Grabbed by Sullivan. Neal with the body check. Loses his mitt. Griffins send one high up over the net. Griffins hold it in up against the boards, back up to their D. Now they'll send one. Wide of the net. Comes over near side to Sullivan. Sullivan looking for that center pass to Tabor. This is stolen by Drill. He'll slap it off the glass, out into the neutral zone, down into the Griffin zone. 3:05 remaining in the period. Sullivan will bring it around Ullery. Cross-ice pass poked away by the Knights. Griffins hold it in. Now poke check. That'll trickle out in the neutral zone. Griffins will have to get onside. They'll send it back into their own zone. Honen's going to chase after it. Line change for the Knights. And that's the end of the power play for the Griffins. Now grabbed by Sanders. Far right-hand side. Chipped up the boards. Graham will hold it in. Send it back down low. Larson will give chase. Griffins get there first. Up the boards, the Griffins will send it. Pops it out in the middle of the ice. Poked away by Honen. She'll send it back down low. Larson will give chase. Comes away with it down low up against the boards. Griffins come away with it. They'll chip it up the right-hand side, or left-hand side for them. Now it's out in the neutral zone. Here come the Griffins the other way. Around Ullery. They'll take a shot. Net's off. I haven't seen the sign for the goal. And they do count it, even though the net came off. That's a goal for the Griffins, and another goal, 3-0 Griffins. Knights are looking a little flat and need to wake up here with 2:03 remaining in the first. Griffins have only taken 4 shots, but scored on 3 of them. Face-off grab by Dunlap. He'll send it into the Griffin zone. Popped up, now right to the feet of Larson. He'll send it up front, stolen by the Griffins. They'll send it out to neutral zone. That'll go all the way to the end. Arms up in the air, we're going to get an icing. We'll face it off in the Griffin zone with 1:47 remaining in the first. Griffins taking it to the Knights early. 2 power play goals and an even strength goal. 3 goals on 4 shots, leading 3-0. Face-off grab by the Griffins down in the corner. They'll backhand it backside of the net. Morrison will come over, holds it in up against the board, sends it back down low. Now up around the boards. This will be held in by Sanders. Pulls back to his backhand. Now he'll chase after the puck up again, down into the corner. Bounces up front off of Sullivan. Morrison will hold it in, sends it crossed ice over to the far side. Backhand steal by Sanders. Deflected, goes off to Ritchie, far side. He'll wrap it around the boards over near side. Sanders will hold it in. Down goes Sanders. Griffins come away with the puck. Broken up there by Larson, down into the corner. Up the boards, bounces off. This will be held in. Nope. Out into the neutral zone. Now the Knights will have to get on side as Sanders has it. Here comes Larson streaking in. Larson will bring it in the right-hand side. Has it poked away. Goes off to the far wall. Held in by Drill. He'll backhand it over towards Dunlap. Down into the corner. Deflected. Can't get the centering pass. Now around the boards it comes. 40 seconds remaining. Pops out into the neutral ice. Now grabbed by Larson. He'll send it down into the Knight zone. Griffin's getting a line change in. Larson will go to the bench. Here comes Morrison with the puck. He'll lose it out front. Comes right to Chikini. Held in there by the Griffons. Now Drill will chase it down low. That's deflected, saved by Smith. Comes out to Neal. Neal can't get it out of the zone. Final 8 seconds around the boards. This will come to Morrison. Morrison will bring it up the right-hand side. 2-1, has it deflected by Tabor, and that's the end of the first. And after one, it's the Griffons 3 and the Knights 0.
This game is brought to you by Par Electric. Par puts people first.
All right, that's the end of the first intermission. We'll head out to the second. You can have the rest of them. Smith heads off to the left. Griffins leading 3-0. Sullivan will head off to the right. In comes Dunlap, Sanders, and Larson, along with Graham and Drill. Face-off won by the Griffins. Tabor will head off to the left, pressured by Dunlap. Poked by Drill, chased around the back of the net, off the side of the pipes. Now grabbed by Larson. He tries to clear it, held in by the Griffins. Goes off far corner. Now grabbed by Drill, saucered up in the air. It comes out to the neutral zone. Sullivan will come over, slaps it off the boards. Dunlap blocks it, and Larson backhands it down behind the net. Sanders with a hip check. Now it comes to Larson. Larson loses it. The Griffins will send it down into the Knight zone. Grabbed by the Griffins. Now centered up front. Broken up by Sanders. Now dumped back into the Knight zone. Delayed offsides. Finally kicked out in the neutral zone. Grabbed by the Griffins. They'll cross ice. That's grabbed by Sanders. Sanders will lose it once again. Now pops out, comes right back to Sanders. Honan will check in, and we're going to get an offsides as Honan jumped over the wall. Sanders hadn't got it into the attack zone yet. Face-off will come out to neutral ice. Hazen, Honan, and Wiebe will check in. Morrison and Olery on the defense. Now grabbed by Honan. She'll dump it down into the Griffin zone. Griffins will chip it up the boards, and a foot race for the puck. Milburn will chase after it. Olery will chase after it. Down goes Olery. Milburn comes away with it, centers it up front. Now kicked out into the neutral zone by the Knights. Griffins will have to get onside. They'll chip it up the boards. Now it'll be grabbed by Drill. Or Morrison, sorry. Back out to neutral ice. Now we got a delayed offside. Comes right to Morrison. Looks for the cross ice out in front of Honan. Wiebe will come over, can't get a hold of it, and here come the Griffins the other way. Dumped down into the Knight zone. This will be grabbed by Olery down in the corner, round the backside of the net. Chipped up the boards, trying to get it to Wiebe. Loose puck, centered up front by the Griffins. Now cleared out by Morrison, goes off into the corner to Hazen. Hazen will wrap it around the boards. Griffins will come over and hold it in. Sends it back down low. Now grabbed by Olery up against the wall, round the backside of the net. Up the boards, held by the Griffins once again. Now Olery will lose it up front. This will come right to the stick of Wiebe. Wiebe brings it down, loses it down in the corner. Griffons will chase after and around the backside of the net. Olery with a forecheck. Off to the far side to Ritchie. Honen's over there poking at it. Griffons come away with it, backside of the net. Neal with a big body check. Down goes Ritchie. Shot saved. Now cleared. That's going to be an icing. That was 115 versus about 160, and the 115 won. But the Griffons still lead 3-0. Knights got to figure out how to get some shots on goal. Only one shot so far. Neal, Chikine, and Prather in there. Sent up the boards, grabbed by Chikine. Now checked by Coons. Out into the neutral zone it comes. This will come to Drill. He'll backhand it over far side to Kassler. Kassler up the boards, can't get it cleared. Ritchie hold that one in. Now sends it back into the Knight zone. Drill retreat back. Grab this one. Near side, looking for somewhere to go with it. Chips it up the boards. That's going to be a foot race. Arm in the air, and we're going to get an icing on this one. Face-off will be back in the Knight zone with 9:34 remaining to second.
This game is brought to you by Par Electric. Par puts people first.
Face-off won by the Griffons. Down into the corner. Now they'll lose it up front. This comes right to Neal. Neal will pull back. Back to the middle. Backhands it out front to himself. Continues to get back checked. Now stolen by the Griffons. Coons will grab this one. Sends it right-hand side. Chips it off the board. Kassler will backhand it back out into neutral ice. Arm in the air, penalty coming on. Somebody shoots and scores! Kansas City goal! Number 12, Andrew Drill, from almost the red line. Delayed penalty was coming up on that. Drill, yeah. And the Knights on the board with 9:03 remaining in the second. Now trail 3-1. Larson, Dunlap, Sanders, Graham, and Morrison. Face-off comes out into the neutral zone. Grabbed by the Griffons. Now stolen by backhander by Dunlap. Saved by Sullivan. Loose up front. Dunlap continues to chase after it. Almost grabbed by Sanders. Now with Graham. He'll send it back down low. Graham and Larson run into each other. Grabbed by the Griffons. Now stolen by Morrison in the corner. Chipped up the boards. And now we're going to have a cross check. Oh, and we got some Graham and somebody from the Griffons going at it. Tabor goes straight to the penalty box. Let's see if they're pulling Graham in there with him. Graham will go to the sin bin also. This will be offsetting. We'll skate 5-on-5. Refs are sorting this out. The door's still open, so might get a misconduct on this from the Griffons. Larson's going for the Knights also. Let's see if there's a second one going from the Griffons. So 2 penalties for the Knights, both roughing by Larson and Graham. Double minor, double roughing penalty for Tabor for the Griffons. Let's see how this one settles out with the number of players on the ice. So there'll be a 5-on-4. 2 of them offsetting. Nope, it'll be a 5-on-5. Okay. So Prather, Neal. Couldn't see who else is in there. Prather will come over. Now it's held in. They've got a delayed offsides. This will be grabbed by Drill. And they don't come out of the zone, so they'll call offsides now. See, Chikini, Neal, and Prather in there. Morrison and Drill for the defense. Because of the offsides, will come all the way down into the Griffin zone. One by the Griffins, cleared out into the neutral zone. Now foot race for the puck. Griffins will get there first. They'll skate in, takes a shot way wide left. Bounces off the glass, comes up near boards. Griffins hold it in. Cross ice it'll go. Chikini over there puts a body on it up against the boards. Neal's right there waiting for it to trickle out. Sullivan, the Griffins come away with it, looking to center it up front. Now kicked out. That'll come up to the blue line. Dumped back down by the Griffins. Griffins with the puck. Skates in. Backhand. Oh, back door was open but couldn't get a shot off. Now it goes off far side. Griffins will hold it in. Now it comes up the boards. Prather will chase after it. Griffins get there first. Backhands it back past everyone. Now they'll skate it in. Popped away by Morrison near side. Griffins will get to it, up the wall to go, kicks out into the middle of the ice. Grabbed by the Griffins, poked away by Drill. Now comes out to the middle. That'll be backhanded by Neal over to Prather. Prather will come around. He'll kick it over to Chikini. Chikini skates in. He'll take a shot right into the face mask of Sullivan, cleared by the Griffins. All the way down to Drill. Line change for the Knights. Now Drill will saucer it way up high. Out into neutral ice, grabbed by the Griffins, kick back down. That'll come right back to Drill again. Drill will kick it over to Wiebe. Wiebe, oh, hard into the boards. Down goes Wiebe. And they didn't like that, and we got some fighting over here in the corner. Honen's laughing, gives a thumbs up to Mom. Prather didn't like the way that hit went. Wiebe's up. Prather's going to go to the sin bin. Somebody from the Griffins is going to go to the sin bin. We just ain't figured out who it is yet. Discussion by the refs. One ref over with the Griffons bench. One ref over talking to Kempkes on the Knights bench. Prather's already into the sin bin, trying to figure out who's going in there for the Griffons because the arm was in the air on the hit on Weeby as she went flying into the boards. Now I think the discussion is what's the length of the penalty. We know 2 minutes is on the board for the Griffons, but let's see what we've got. Oh, here's the goalies playing ping pong. Smith will send it over to Sullivan. Sullivan with a wrister back over to Smith. Smith brings it back over to Sullivan. That's wide of the net. Sullivan will touch this one up. He'll send one way wide left. Trent's not even going to make an attempt for this one. He'll wait for the ricochet off the boards. Up, right through the skates. Come on, Trent. Oh, here we go. Two minutes boarding, 10-minute misconduct for the Griffons. 5 minutes for Sullivan and a misconduct. Number 14, Brody Prather, 30 seconds and 2 minutes. Roughing. Excuse me, Brody Prather, 2 minutes roughing. Brody Prather, 2 minutes roughing. So we get a 2 minute and a misconduct for boarding on the Griffons. And a 5 minute major on Sullivan and a misconduct. Game misconduct, I think. And the Griffons coach doesn't like it. He's going to be careful. He's going to get himself a bench. So Coons goes back in. Sullivan's going to go in. Sullivan and Smith stretching it out, trying to keep loose as this is up. Long delay here as they sort this mess out. And Sullivan, I believe, had a game misconduct. He's gone. He'll grab his other twig, go to the locker room for an early break. 6:48 remaining in the second, so halfway through the game, Sullivan's out. All right, I think they got this sorted out. 5 minute major on the board, so this will be a non-expiring power play for the Knights. The other two, I believe, are offsetting. So it should be a 5-on-4 power play for the next 5 minutes for the Knights. Knights, you don't get that many players out here. Let's see what's going on here. So we got Morrison and Olery in on the defense. And way too many on the forward line. Actually, we got Drill out here. So right now we got 3 forwards. There goes Olery to the bench. Okay, so Morrison and Drill out here on the defense. Sanders, Dunlap, and Neal. Sanders will step into center. Neal to the right, Dunlap to the left. Grabbed by the Griffons. Now they'll sling one all the way down right on goal to Smith. He'll tap it off to the side. Morrison will grab this one. Popped out into the neutral zone all the way to the Griffin zone. They'll sling it all the way back. This will go around the back of the net to Drill. Drill will pull it back into the far corner. Now we'll get a rush going. He'll kick it up to Sanders. Sanders up the left-hand side. Dunlap and Neal stay onside. Sanders down into the corner. Backhands it into the middle. Nobody home there. Griffins will work on clearing it off the wall. Bounces off Drill out in the neutral zone. Morrison will come back for this one. Morrison up the left-hand side, dumps it back, down behind the net. Dunlap will chase after it. Griffons get there first. Now Dunlap comes over, working it up against the boards. Griffin come away with it. That'll tip off Drill's stick out into the neutral zone. Knights will have to get onside once again. 5:50 remaining in the second, trailing 3-1. Neal to Morrison. Morrison dumps it into the zone. Can't get it to Dunlap. Now it'll come to Dunlap right up front. He'll try to kick it off the right, broken away. Now it'll come right out to Neal. Neal will look at it. He'll bring it up to Dunlap. Takes a shot wide left. Griffons clear it down into the Knight zone, back behind the net. 5:25 remaining, 3:36 remaining in the period. This will go off in the corner. Griffons will actually get there first. Come away with the puck. Slow skating, centered up front. Now it'll finally be grabbed by Drill. He'll kick it over to the near side to Neal. Neal will kick it with the skates. Down he goes. Lost his balance. Chikine will bring it into the zone. Now kick back out. Neal will send it back. Oop, bounces one off the refs. Delayed offsides. Ref right up against the wall. He might want to consider moving. Now to come to the Griffons. They'll take a shot 10 feet wide left and kicked off to the side by Smith as it ricochets back towards the net. This will be grabbed by Drill. No pressure so far on this power play by the Knights. Now they'll kick it off to the side. This will go to the left to Sanders. He'll take a shot, shoots wide left, comes around near side. That'll be back out into the neutral zone. Morrison will race back for it, pressured by the Griffons. Now it'll come to Sanders. Sanders will kick it off to Hazen on the left-hand side. Hazen down into the corner. Line change. Chikine stays in. Hazen goes down. Now it'll trickle off. This will come over to Kassler near side. Can't keep it in the zone. Back out to neutral zone. Knights will have to get onside once again. Sent over to Olery. Now Olery back over to Kassler. Can't get the puck possession. Griffons will launch one way down into the Knights zone, back behind the net. Olery and Griffons come away with it. Now it's grabbed by Smith. 2:07 remaining in the power play. Bodies finally starting to come out of the bench, or in the sin bin. Get Larson back. So we've got, let's see, Drill and Olery. Nope. Morrison and Drill will stay in. Knights have 4 forwards. Let's see who's leaving the ice. Honan will come out. So Neal, Dunlap, Sanders. Face off grabbed by the Griffons. Dump back down low. This will be grabbed by Sanders. Sanders will bring it in up the right-hand side with some speed. Loses the puck. Delayed offsides, and now they'll call it offsides, and this face-off will come back out into the neutral ice. Honan, Neal, Dunlap, Sanders, and Morrison. Now they got things squared away. 1:54 remaining in the power play. Grabbed by the Griffons. Tabor will skate around. Past Neal. Up around Honan. Now stolen by Dunlap. Right to the feet of Morrison. Tabor still continues to chase after it. Now it goes down to the corner. Dunlap will wrap it around the boards. Over to Honan, far side. She'll get it ahead near side towards Dunlap. Dunlap will bring it in the right. Round up front. Nobody home there for the Knights. Goes off to the far side. Sanders holds it in. Comes away with the puck. Chips it down low. 1:15 remaining. Sanders continues to chase after it. Griffons will send it around the boards. Morrison will hold it in. Bounces right to Morrison. Quick shot right into the glove of Sullivan. .254 remaining the second. Griffons leading 3-1. Minute 7 remaining on the power play for the Knights. This will bring in Prather, Larson, and Chikine. Drill and Graham. One over to Prather, over to Drill. Drill will chip it off the boards back to Prather. He'll skate into the middle. Can't get it to the forehand. He goes down. Bauer gets it. He'll backhand it. Bounces it off one of his own players. Now here comes Richie up the left-hand side. Centered up front, right through the skates of the Griffons. Now cleared out front. This will be grabbed by Larson. Larson will chip it ahead towards Prather. Off over to Graham. Graham will backhand it up to Honan. She'll hold it in up against the boards as the Griffons try to clear it. Held in by Honan once again. Now goes behind the net. Larson's over there. Pops over towards Honan. Off into the corner to Susie. Susie will chip it off the boards to Graham. Graham will send it over near side to Drill. This will come back over to Prather. 15 seconds remaining in the power play. Prather up the boards towards Drill. Now cleared by the Griffons. Out into the neutral zone. That'll end the power play for the Knights. Griffons will go back to full strength. Grabbed by Drill behind the net. Can't get it cleared. Whiffed on the pass. Now it's loose up front. Griffons poke it down into the corner. 1:35 remaining in the period. Finally grabbed by Larson. He'll wheel around the backside of the net. Comes to the middle. It's got Honan left, Drill right. Loses the puck. Grabbed by the Griffons. Can't get it cleared. Now grabbed by Prather. Prather will backhand it. Held by Drill. Popped up in the air. Slapped down by the Griffons. Cleared by the Griffons. Now a race for the puck. Drill will get there. Sends it up the board. Wilson holds it in for the Griffons. They'll take a shot. Deflected off of Drill. Now Drill will grab it. He'll cross ice. Grabbed by the Griffons. Pressured by Honan. Delayed offsides called. Here we go. Now they're back onside. Grabbed by Drill. He'll send it cross ice over to Graham. 1 minute remaining in the period. Chipped ahead down into the Griffin zone. Waved off the icing. Wrapped around the boards. Neal will hold this one in. Chips off his stick. Now right to Graham. Graham will send one wide left. Comes over to Larson near boards. Down in the corner. Peels back for a little time and space. Peels back. Sends it back down low. This will be grabbed by Sanders. Back behind the net. Comes to the middle with his forehand. Tries to cross ice. That's deflected. Now pops out in the neutral zone. Grabbed by the Griffons. Downwind Sanders. Neal with the back check. Slows that up. Graham with the check. He goes down. Griffons come away with the puck. Try to center it up front. Now deflected. Goes off near side. 12 seconds left. Sends it behind the net. Grabbed by the Griffons. Pressured by Larson. Comes up to Bauer up front. He'll send one. Bounces it off Morrison. Now shot goes up into the net. And that's going to be the end of the period. After two, Griffons lead 3-1.
This game is brought to you by Meineke Car Care Centers of Kansas City. Trust your keys with Meineke.
All right, intermission number 2 over. Smith goes off to the right. Knights are going to bring out Sanders, Larson, and Dunlap. Graham and Morrison on the defense. A lot of penalties early for the Knights, and the St. Joe Griffons took advantage of them. 2 power play goals early. And right now, that's the difference in the game as the Griffons lead 3-1. Faceoff comes to Moe. Moe will chip it off the boards out ahead to Sanders, up the left-hand side. Takes it down low. He'll go down to behind the net will go the puck. Dunlap tips it. Now it comes up, right, grabbed by Sanders once again, right along the blue line. To his backhand, loses it down into the corner. He'll send it around the boards. That'll come to Larson. Larson will bounce it off the boards, loose right up front, comes right back to Larson. He'll shoot right into the gut of Sullivan. They'll blow it dead. Face off in the Griffin zone. 12:32 remaining in the game. That face off comes to Mo. He'll send one that's deflected up front. Watch the post. Now kicks out to the Griffins. They'll bring it out to neutralize up the left-hand side. Poke check by Graham. Loose puck goes off into the corner. Graham will continue to battle for it. Now to be grabbed by Graham and Dunlap. They'll lose it. Pops out to the Griffins' Tabor. Tabor will backhand it over to the D. They'll send one. That goes wide in the net. Graham will send it around the net. Over towards Kingston Sanders. He'll chip it up into the neutral zone. Continues to work after the puck. Now it's loose up against the near boards. Morrison will come over, grab it, gets it over to Larson. Larson will backhand it to Sanders in the Knight zone. Out to neutralize. Line change for the Knights. Sanders will take it in himself. Takes a shot. Saved by Sullivan. Pops up in the air. Never saw where it was at. Sanders went down on a late check. Morrison will hold it in. Sends it back down low. Now it's kicked out in the neutral zone. That would be icing, arm in the air. If it makes it that far, they blow it dead. Face-off will come back into the St. Joe Griffin zone. 11:25 remaining in the game. Neal, Prather, Chikine come in. Ullery and Kassler on the defense. Face off one out into the corner. Now grabbed by the Griffins. They'll bring it up the right-hand side. Here comes Milborn up the right. Forced wide by Ullery. Peels back in the corner. Centers up front. Blocked away there by Neal. Goes off to the far side. Now comes up to the middle. Grabbed by Ullery. Ullery will get it to Kassler. Kassler kicks it ahead, but nobody was looking for the puck. Big check by Chikine. Now stolen by Neal. We're going to get a penalty. Oh, we got some fighting going on over here. They didn't like that hit. Chikine's pulled away by the refs. Chikine will go to the sin bin, but somebody from the Griffins ought to go because they were fighting at each other. And the refs will talk it over once again. Here's the puck at center ice. Anybody get it over to Sullivan or Smith so they can play tennis again? This might be a long conversation, so let the goalies have some fun. Let's see what the penalties are as they're giving them to Russo up there in the scorer's table. Lund will go in for the Griffins. Chikine's in the box for the Knights, so we'll be offsetting. We'll skate 5-on-5. Timeout St. Joe. I don't think the coach wanted it, but the refs said he gave the signal and they're giving him one anyways.
We have penalties on both teams and timeouts. For the Griffons, number 92, Briscoe London. For the Knights, number 92, Lou Chicane. Each 2 minutes roughing.
London Chicane, 2 minutes for roughing. Offsetting, so we will skate 5-on-5. They'll be eligible to come back. First stoppage after 8:55. Knights will bring out Larson, Sanders, and Dunlap. Drill and Graham on the defense. Face-off comes to Sanders. Sanders will send it up the boards to Graham. He'll send one towards Sullivan. He'll kick it off into the corner. Now grabbed by Tabor for the Griffons. Up the boards, chips it ahead to Ritchie. Now back to Tabor. Tabor will bring it up right through the middle. Squeezed by Sanders, kicked off into the corner. Now comes to Graham. Graham will send it out into the neutral zone. They're going to wave off. Nope, they're not going to wave off icing. This will be icing sent back into the Knight zone for a face-off. 10:30 remaining in the game. Griffons leading 3-1. And they didn't like this one. They're going to kick this one out. Larson will come out. Dunlap will step in. Tied up at the feet of Dunlap. Kicked out by Sanders. Stolen by Tabor. And Griffons will control it. That'll be Bauer. Bauer over to Tabor. Tabor touches it back pass to the defense. They'll send it down low. Drills right down there. Off into the corner, grabbed by Ritchie. Centered up front, kicked away by Graham. Controlled by Tabor for the Griffons. They'll pull it back, looking for the cross ice. That'll bring over to Bauer. Bauer will send one, deflects off their own player. Goes around the boards, held in. Now right to the feet of Dunlap. Can't get it cleared. That'll come to Drill. Drill looking. Now he'll saucer it up in the air. Foot race for the puck. Sanders is going to get there. Sanders with the big sliver. Shoots wide of the net. Comes around the boards, comes over to Larson. Held in by Graham. He'll send one, saved by Sullivan. Off to Sanders. Sullivan will poke it out right to Sanders. Sanders will peel back. Comes across ice over to Larson. Larson will send one, blocked away by Sullivan once again. Wiebe will chase after behind the net. Held by Drill. Now to Wiebe. Wiebe will lose it. Griffin send it around the boards, pops out in the middle. Now this will be grabbed by Tabor. Tabor through the middle, loses the puck. That comes to Sanders. He'll peel around. Off to his backhand, up the left-hand side. Down into the Griffin zone. Loses the puck up against the boards, grabbed by the Griffins. Right to the feet of Ritchie. There's a check. That comes right to Wiebe. Wiebe will bring it in right-hand side. Down low, gets hooked around, goes down. Puck goes behind the net. Now cleared back over towards Wiebe. Wiebe will backhand it up to Drill. Quick shot. That goes wide of the net, comes near side. Morrison and Larson over there. Larson comes away with it. He gets checked up to the boards. Comes away with the puck near side. Still continues to battle for it. Now loses it to Morrison. Morrison will send it down the boards back behind the net. Over to the far corner to Wiebe. Kicked up the boards. Bad bounce off the boards. Now the Griffins will come away with it. Up the right-hand side. Danbury will bring it in. Cross ice. This will be slapped away by Wiebe. Down into the corner. Now Drill will battle for it. Now kick stolen by Drill. Drill bring it up the left-hand side. He's got Neal to the right. Drill brings it in, shoots, saved by Sullivan. Griffons will bring it out up the middle. Back check by Neal. Now grabbed by Honan. He'll send it up the boards. Drill went down, slow to get up. Quick pass over to the right-hand side. Now stolen by Honan. Honan will send it back into the Griffin zone. Chipped up the boards just as Hazen comes up. Can't get it. Griffins bring it in up the left-hand side. Now stolen by Prather. He'll lose it up front. Grabbed by Hazen. Hazen will send it back up to Prather. Prather with the back check. Tied up front. Now Prather and one of the Griffins going at it. Refs have to blow this one dead, break it up. They should both go to the bench on that one for roughing. Prather will go to the bench for the Knights. Danbury for the Griffins. 2 minutes each for roughing, offsetting, so we'll stay with a 5-on-5 skate. Chicani and Lund have now came out of the box. Dunlap, Larson, Sanders. Graham and Olery. That's grabbed by Sanders to his backhand, brings it in. Pulls back to the middle. Backhand shoots and scores! Kansas City goal! Number 6, Kingston Sanders, unassisted. And the Knights have cut the deficit in half, now trail 3-2 with 6:55 remaining in the game. Face-off grab by Larson. He'll kick it back towards Olery in the Knight zone. He'll chip it up the board right to Sanders. Loses it up front. Now goes down into the Griffin zone. Centered up front by Larson. Can't get it to Dunlap. Now the Griffins will clear it out. Out into the neutral zone. Nice back check by Dunlap. He'll get the steal. Take it in the right-hand side. Leaves it for Sanders. Sanders pulls back to the middle. To his backhand. Shoots. Saved up front. Blocked away by the Griffins. Now knocked away by Olery, goes off to the far side. Olery will dump it down into the Griffin zone, back behind the net. Larson will give chase, backhand to the far corner. Grabbed by the Griffins. Chicani's checked in. That's stolen by Larson right at the blue line. Now he'll lose it out to neutral ice. He'll backhand it over to Graham. Graham near side to Olery. Olery backhands it to Chicani. Chicani right to Sanders. Sanders will lose it up front. Comes to Larson. Larson will leave it for Graham. He'll take a shot. That gets deflected by the Griffins up front. Nice back check by Sanders as he gets a steal. He'll send it off to Graham. Graham backhands it, trying to get it to Chicani. Loose in the neutral zone, delayed offsides, and now Chicani's going to get a penalty on that one. Touched up by Neal. We're going to get a roughing for Chicani, and he'll head off to the send-in. Wasn't much of a roughing. But a late check after nobody had the puck. Off to the send-in, Lincoln Chicani goes. And that'll put the Griffins on the power play. Honan and Neal in here on the forward line. Drill and Morrison on the defense. 5:38 remaining in the game. Knights trailing 3-2. Griffins are on the power play. Tabor and Neal will step in at the center spot. Won by the Griffins. Now they'll leave it for Bauer up front. Tipped, saved by Smith. Off into the corner. They'll bring it up towards Bauer. Slapper goes way wide left. Tapped away there by Morrison. Grabbed by the Griffins behind the net. Now they'll take a shot. Saved by Smith. Face it off in the Knight zone. 5:21 remaining in the game. Won by the Griffons again. Tabor will grab this one, brings it over to Bauer near side. Skates in, shot, blocker saved by Smith. Goes around the boards. Griffons hold it in, far corner. Centered up front, comes off to the near side towards Honan. She'll lift the stick, battle for the puck. Griffons keep it down low. Goes off to the far corner. Pops up out in the middle. Poked away there by Morrison. Right to the Griffons. Quick shot saved by Smith. Slapped off the boards by Drill. Griffons hold it in. Bounces it off Neal. Now foot race for the puck. Neal's going to get to it on the right-hand side. Packs it down into the middle. Right to Sullivan. He'll covered up. Face off in the Griffin zone with 4:38 remaining in the game. Olery and Kassler will come in. This will be Wiebe and Hazen. Neal and Honan will head to the bench. 1:01 remaining on the power play for the Griffons. Hazen wins it to Wiebe. Wiebe will lose it on a poke check. Grabbed by Tabor. He'll wheel around the back of the net. He's going to build up some speed up the right-hand side. To the middle. Kicks it in. Round Olery. Olery continues the back check. Around the back of the net goes Tabor. Now they'll center it up front. They'll take a shot wide left to the net. Olery will battle for it. Griffins come away with it. Up to Bauer. Bounces one off of Wiebe. Goes off into the corner. Olery will continue to battle for it. Griffins come away with it. Backside of the net. Now looks. Quick shot saved by Smith. Still loose up front. Another save by Smith. Smith will cover it up. They'll blow it dead with 4 minutes remaining in the game. 22 seconds remaining on the Griffins power play. Knights trailing 3-2.
This game is brought to you by Meineke Car Care Centers of Kansas City. Trust your keys with Meineke.
Neal and Larson check back in. Olery and Kassler on the defense. Larson into center. One to Tabor. Tabor to Bauer. Bauer will go D to D off to the far side. Neal right there. Kicks it back over to Bauer. He'll get a clean shot. Glove saved by Smith. 12 seconds remaining on the power play till we get Chikini back. Sanders is going to climb over the wall. Let's see who he comes in for. He's going to come in for Kassler and play some D. Tied up, this will come to Olery. Olery will put on the brakes. Now he'll sling it all the way down to the far end of the ice. 4, 3, 2, bounces off. Sullivan will touch it. That's the end of the power play. Knights are back to full strength. Chikini comes out, kicked off the boards, grabbed by Coons. He'll kick it over to Ritchie, and that's going to be an offsides. Dunlap will check in. Let's see who he comes in for. He's going to take over for Neal. Olery will go to the bench too. So Drill and Graham on the defense. Sanders will come in for Chikini. So it'll be Larson, Dunlap, and Sanders. 5-on-5. Face-off neutralized, trailing 3-2 with 3:30 remaining. That'll come to Sanders. Sanders up the left-hand side. Larson to the middle. Dunlap to the right. Right to the forehand. Loses it. Save it for Larson. Shoots and scores! Kansas City goal! Number 25, Charlie Larson. From number 6, Kingston Sanders. And with 3:17 remaining in the game, the Knights have tied it at 3. Face-off grab by Tabor. Now he loses it. That'll come to Larson. Larson up the right-hand side. He'll lose it up the boards. Chip back into the neutral zone. Now Dunlap will battle for it. Tabor comes away with it for the Griffons. Up the right-hand side to Wilson. Poked by Graham. Now sent back into the neutral zone by Larson. Bauer will sling this one down into the far corner. This will be grabbed by Drill. He'll come around the backside of the net. Up through the middle. Chips it into the Griffin zone. Now loses it to Wilson. Nice forecheck there by Dunlap. Keeps it in the zone. Chipped up the boards. Larson can't hold it in. Comes to Graham. He'll send it into the Griffin zone. Delayed offsides. Now everybody's clear. Grabbed by Tabor behind the net. Forecheck by Larson. Big check by Drill up front on Tabor. Puck goes back down into the corner. This will go behind the net. Chipped off the boards up the far left-hand side. Sanders will come away with it momentarily. Now it comes out in the neutral zone. Foot race for the puck. Nobody from the Griffins chasing after it. Graham will get there. He'll come around the back of the net. 2:08 remaining in the game. Tied at 3. Out front to Sanders. Sanders will grab it to his forehand. Far right-hand side. Being back checked. That'll trickle out to Chikini. Chikini's in. He'll get it over to Neal. Neal gets checked right up front. Chikini with a backhand. That gets checked. Goes off into the corner. They bounce one right off Chikini. Comes back to Ritchie behind the net. Now they'll send it up front. Out in the neutral zone to Morrison. Morrison will bring it cross ice over to Graham. Graham will chip it down. Loses the puck. That comes out back out in the neutral zone. This will be grabbed by Chikini. Goes cross ice over to Morrison. Morrison up the right. Sends it down into the Griffin zone with 1:30 remaining in the game. Popped up in the air. Grabbed by Tabor. Tabor will come around the net. Chips it off early. Trying to get it to Ritchie. This will actually come to Ullery. Now he'll cross ice. Touch pass there by Morrison. Backhanded up into the night zone. Down into the corner. This will be grabbed by Ullery with 1:12 remaining. Cross ice, bounces off the board, back out in the neutral zone. Now delayed offsides. Everybody gets onside, comes to Ullery. Chipped off of Neal, held in by Danbury, held in by Ritchie. Chipped down into the corner by the Griffins. Now pressured by Morrison down low with 50 seconds remaining. Tied up against the boards, he'll kick it, trying to get it to Neal. Damn it, Chase. Sorry, guys. Chase will go to the sin bin and give the Griffins a power play with 41 seconds left. That'll be a cross check.
This game is brought to you by Par Electric. Par puts people first.
So with 41 seconds remaining in the game, Griffins go to the power play. Let's see, we got Dunlap, Sanders, Larson, and Graham in there. Face-off goes down low. Graham will backhand it behind the net. Over towards Dunlap. Dunlap tries to clear it. Danbury holds it in. Now it's blocked by Sanders. Sanders will try to clear it. Comes out to Dunlap. Out into the Griffin zone. Dunlap chases after it right to the Griffins. Can't remember his goalie's name. Blacked out there for a second. Covered up. It'll be face off in the Griffin zone with 23.6 seconds remaining. Oh, Sullivan, that's right. Larson, Dunlap will step in. Larson to the center. Face off in the Griffin zone, 23.6. Tied up down low. Now the Griffins will chip it off the boards up to Danbury. Danbury will kick it out in the neutral zone. Grabbed by Sanders. Peels back to the middle. Up the left-hand side. Final push for the Knights. 10 seconds remaining. Right to the forehand. Sullivan covers it up. And with 7.7 seconds remaining, face it off in the Griffin zone. Larson will step in. Grabbed by the Griffins. Graham can't hold it. Stolen by Tabor. He'll cross ice. Over to Coons. And that's the end of the game. So the Knights get 2 goals in the third, pull out a tie against the Griffons. They take 3 points this weekend. They'll touch up gloves. That's the final game of the weekend, final game of the year. We'll see you next year after the New Year's for some more Knights hockey. Hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you in another week and a half. Thanks for joining us.